Join me now at the beginning of week 8. The weeks really have just ticked by. Less than 5 weeks to go now till race day. This run coming off of a rest day after what I would say was the most successful long run I've had so far. So it's now Monday, it's Labor Day. It's about 12:30. And I'm just going out, going for what should be a fairly leisurely 3.5 miles or so. I like this route that I've set up because it's got 2 Strava segments on it. I think I'm the local legend on both. Gotta maintain that status somehow. So. It is freaking beautiful outside. Like, what the heck, man? It's a little toasty. Mid to upper 70s, but totally fine. Like, oh my gosh. Oh, it's very nice. Segment 1, Old Brom Pondview Park, completed. Sadly, I no longer hold the KLM on that route. A few weeks ago, somebody came through and hunted a lot of the KLMs around here and like cut a good 25-30 seconds off of the time that I said. It's gonna take way more training than speed work for me to even get close to that, so I'm not gonna say never, but maybe I just focus on more attainable things like the local legend status, because well, other people can definitely be faster than me. I can make sure that I'm at least as persistent as they are and just consistently get out and hit the same trails over and over again until I lose my mind. Just so I hold on to that local legend status. Again, it's the weird things you do while running to keep yourself focused and motivated. Start of segment 2. This is the Loomis Road to 43rd Street Hill. It's not super steep, but it's progressive. It gets steeper as you go, and it's like 0.4 miles, so just enough to fool you into thinking, oh, this won't be that bad. And then you get like 2/3 of the way through and you're just lactated out. But when you just go for local legend, you just gotta get through it. It's not too bad. Segment 2 done. It was kind of fun. There's this family on bikes that kind of caught up to me at the bottom of the hill the entire way up. There was a little kid on a bike trying his hardest to keep up, so I crushed his soul and sped up the hill. Never let people beat you. The mental gymnastics, man, I tell ya. Runners are weird. Hello, happy Thursday. Getting run 2 in, a little bit late. Took an extra rest day, just because worked my legs quite a bit, doing basement renovations, so getting back after it. So I was thinking a lot lately about milestones that this half marathon would be for me. And I understand that. It's probably worth going over some context of my life as a runner, what that's kind of been like. So for me, running started about 12 years old. uncle. Had an older brother who was very fast. Led high school to a state championship. Very good. Experience behind him, so needless to say, I was influenced quite a bit. So for me, it was about 2 years before high school where I basically ran through just willing myself to be quickly. There was no training outside of track season. So at the end of that, I was about a 5:30 miler and a 2:20 800 runner. Going into that summer, my older brother graduated from high school. Spent the last 2 years of his time in high school fighting off injuries, never really getting back to his form. So for me, I had 2 years where all I was doing was running way too hard and seeing the example of someone running way too hard and hurting themselves. So what did I do going into high school? That first summer of proper cross-country training, got really bad runner's knee. And that kind of hampered me the entire season. I remember at one point during that season, hanging out with the team, somebody asked, like, I thought you were supposed to be good. I was like, oh, I thought so too. Turns out you actually have to train for this shit. But despite only having a few months of training, I did get down to sub 25K. I thought that was pretty good. But then basically my whole high school career, I actually had really good coaches. You know, the whole fad with zone 2 training and most of your runs should be, you know, zone 2 and maybe only 20% should be higher intensity. That's what I was being told to do. But looking back on it now, you know, if you're a 17-minute 5K runner, your easy run should probably be slower than 7 minutes a mile. And the reality is I was doing maybe one of those a week. And all of my training runs, I would just set out at 5K pace. So I would go out at like 5:30 a mile and just hold on for dear life for 3 to 5 miles. And that was the extent of my training. My coaches would tell me to do what is very widely accepted nowadays as being the correct way of training, where you're balancing intervals and threshold runs with strength and conditioning, with easy runs. I wasn't actually doing that, so constantly injured. But I still succeeded in spite of that. Short. At the end of high school, I was a 16:48 5K runner, a 4:50 miler, a 2:06 800 runner, something like a 55-second 400 runner. And I think the closest thing to a full season without dealing with injuries was my senior year of cross country, and that was it. And then after high school, I kind of stopped running. Went to college, ran a couple of those summers. At one point, when I was 20 years old, I ran an 8K at 7-minute miling. I was at the peak of my fitness then. Out of college, didn't really run at all until 27. There was a 6-month stint there where I basically just went back and trained as if I was a teenager. Ran way too hard and built way too quickly. And over the course of, I think it was about 6 months, I went from unfit, weighed maybe 195 pounds, to fitter, maybe 180, 175, and ran a 24-minute 5K of which I severely injured my hip. And then, so I stopped running over that winter break. And by the time spring came, COVID happened. And suddenly, it was a lot harder to get out of the house. So I just didn't start running again. And then fast forward to my current stint, started about 2.5 years ago. And I'm doing everything the right way. Building slowly. Training like how my coaches told me to train. Things have been going better. Me around to now. For the last 2 years, all my running was 5K focused. And I had a 5K PB from when I was a crazy teenager that I don't think I've ever gonna get close to again. So in May, a few months ago, I got my first 10K race. This will help. And I set an actual 10K PB, a real life PB. I'm not gonna lie. It's just the I'm 35. Doing something I never did when I was young. So that brings me all the way back around to the half marathon. Going back to when I was 16 years old, 19 years ago. I remember the longest run I did. It was the longest run I've ever done. And that was an age where I don't think GPS watches were even a thing yet. I mean, how the iPod Nano was new. And I had one, it was so cool. It was a pedometer with a shoe pod that you could calibrate and know a very inaccurate measurement of how far you ran. And that was peak fitness training. Pair that with a heart rate monitor, I had all the tech you could possibly want. So I mapped out the route. It's actually only about 12.5 miles. Well, for my training for the next 4 weeks, the longest run I'm going to do before the half marathon will be about 10 miles. So the half marathon will be the farthest I've ever run. And I really want to be able to say I've run farther than I've ever run before. And I did it without injuring myself. That's the goal. So I'm doing this. I'm really looking forward to crossing the hill, crossing the start line. It's gonna be a moment in and of itself, but getting to that finish line in one piece, running the whole way. I'm really looking forward to it. On the weekend for the long run. Going for 9 miles this weekend. It's week 8 long run day. Plan today is to go 5K zone 2, 5K at about 5:30 per kilometer ish. Something on the hotter end of half marathon pace. And then 5K zone 2 easy run to finish it out. All in all, aiming for just over 9 miles. Let's go. Got a wee bit of a headwind on the way out, so apologies for the wind noise. This should be better on the way back. That being said, it's only like 60 degrees outside. But it's nice and sunny, so I'm dressed in very dark clothes. Make sure I don't get cold. We'll see how it works. A few new things we're trying on this run. I did find a little camelback podium. This guy is only 15 ounces. And it fits right in there just fine. Not causing any weird bouncing or anything, so cool with that wind. It's working well. So what I found with the gels, Jesus, this wind, is the caffeine gel kind of carried me through from that 25-minute mark well over an hour in my last long run. So I'm gonna take that one first. After the race pace bit, I'll take my second 40-gram carbohydrate gel to get me through the end. I just hit the turnaround point of the fast 5K. Wind's at the back now, but yeah, I gotta get back up and over all of that and back down the other side. Brutal 5-kilometer route. What was I thinking? Just about this entire faster 5K, I've been going about 20 seconds a kilometer too fast. So I guess that means I'm feeling good. I know I like to mention first sun runs. This was a bit of a strange one. At every intersection so far, they've been congested and somebody has let me through. Like, what? I think people are in a better mood now that it's cooler outside or something. I'll take it. Some pretty intense youth soccer going on. Very fun. It is out and it is officially warm. 5K down. That was about 26 minutes. That last K, I actually dipped under 5-minute pacing. It was a 4:56 final K. It's a bit downhill though, so still every single one of those Ks is too fast. But I stayed in zone 4, so I handled it pretty well. I was just 5K home. There's gel 2 down. There's an SIS, Beta Fuel, Strawberry Lime. Quite like those actually. Nice acidity to it to cut the sweetness. Big fan. Hopefully it stays down. What's encouraging is a bit over an hour in now. I'm not bored at all. I was a little worried that these long runs would start to get boring and I wouldn't enjoy it, but nah. Running's fun still. So, training plan for the upcoming weeks, assuming there isn't another once in a millennia thunderstorm or God knows what else could happen to derail my training. Next week, a deload week. No long run at the weekend because I'm going camping all weekend. And instead of running, I'm going to be going mountain biking, hiking. I think it's be a lot of fun. But this slow 5K to finish it, it's actually been closer to what I was hoping the middle 5K would be. I've been between 5:20 to 5:30 a kilometer. I just hope what's happening here is that this is just where my fitness levels are at, and I'm not overreaching beyond what I should be. It's just a bit concerning because I'm kind of increasing mileage faster than what one ought to do, so I need to be careful so I don't injure myself with only 4 weeks to go. How cool are those hawks? Oh, it's about that time to turn off. A little over a mile to go. Bye, Hawks.